How's it going, people? Back again. Obviously, I was doing AFTV about an hour ago, so you might be bored of me by now, but the beard is back. I'm back. Hope you're all well. We'll use this as a bit of a Q&A. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard my thoughts on AFTV. One thing I didn't touch in on AFTV is Mikel Arteta's quote, so we can go through that on my channel. And that's my initial reaction to it. But when we get into it, you'll hear a bit more, people. Let's see who's in the chat. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. 100 people here, nice and early. Love to see it. Let's see what Patrick's saying. Turkish, you should let people know to sign the 50+1 petition. If it gets 100,000 signatures, then it gets discussed in Parliament. It's already on 76K. If you and maybe Robbie promote it on AFTV, listen, I've already tweeted it. Well, I didn't tweet it, I retweeted someone else's. I will put it out again. I'm glad to hear it's coming close to 100K. Do I think it will do anything solely? It won't, but I do agree with applying pressure on the government to try and do something from their end, because as much as we can shout, chant and talk and get together as fans, there's a lot the government can do that we can't. So we got to keep the pressure up in not only protests, but also in government legislation, merchandise, TV subscriptions, everything we can do. Let's just do it, people. Yeah, Daniel, obviously, I see a lot of people talking about the Daniel Ek interview with CNBC. Was it CNBC? It was, yeah. Aired on Sky Sports today at 3 o'clock. I'm excited about it. I'm excited, but at the same time, Arteta's quotes come out today, and you can see that a lot of what Arteta had to say today about the Kronkes has been manufactured top down, and it's sad. It's sad because it's evidence that he is a puppet. There was no strong evidence before today. Yes, he did say that he was back last summer, but today saying if they get the opportunity to know them being us fans, I think most of them would be surprised. No, we wouldn't be surprised. None of us want to know Kroenke. We know all we need to know about Kroenke. So Arteta, I don't know what he dug himself today. Obviously, Villarreal game tomorrow is massive for him. It's massive for us as a football club. But at the same time, I posed a question to James and Cecil earlier on AFTV. And I asked whether if you could take one of two options now, which was to get knocked out of the Europa League and Kroenke sells up, or win the Europa League and Kroenke remains for at least another year, what would you take? It's so hard to say, put the trophy aside. But I tend to try and think more long-term. And as much as I want to win a trophy, especially a European trophy at that, yes, it's not the European trophy, but it is a European trophy. I think it could do more damage than good, especially in the situation we find ourselves in with an owner that's, well, not an owner, a billionaire that's very much interested in the club, in Daniel Ek, and an owner of Arsenal Football Club that has probably been under the most pressure he's been under since actually acquiring any stake in the football club. I think the last 4 or 5 days is evidence in itself that Kroenkes are either under pressure or they're feeling something. Because to chuck in Josh Kroenke at the deep end last Thursday in the fans forum, I think that was evidence that they feel some pressure. I think to come out with the apology from the board, the statement from Kroenke yesterday saying he's remaining 100% committed. I don't know where he got 100% from, because again, similar to last Thursday when he said, you know, he said something that insinuated he had the trust of the fans and it was broken or tarnished. You've never had the trust of the fans and you've never been 100% committed. So I don't know where these words are coming from, but I hope us Arsenal fans can see through them, because it's about time we start seeing through these words. It's all about PR for those guys over there. And at the end of the day, you know, PR is for us. And I say for us is to paint a picture to us fans that things are rosy behind the scenes or going in a particular direction or trust in the process. Essentially, the process comes from the top. We trusted the process moving into the Emirates. How did that go? You know, we trusted the process in changing the badge to what it is today. How did that go? We trusted the process in selling every single top player we had up until Van Persie to our once great rivals, Man United, only for them to go win the league with him and call it a day. You know, none of those processes worked in the fans' favor. None of them, including Ozil and Sanchez and the influx of signings we had in those couple seasons, with Czech being one of them. And if Arsenal Football Club want to move in the right direction, you do wholesale business. You know, you don't do one in, one out every single transfer window. Otherwise, you just risk tainting the new players with the same brush the old players were tainted with. Tuan says, constant protest every home game. Get Arsenal parasites out. Tweet all Arsenal sponsorships, example Adidas, hashtag don't bed with Arsenal. Each to their own. Again, I think protests definitely work. We saw that on Friday. You know, again, it has to be organized. I would probably lean on that last game of the season. I don't know who we got in the last game. I think it's Brighton at home, if I'm not mistaken. But it is a home game, our last game of the season. I'd lean on that last game of the season and say, listen, if we want to have some effect on Sky, then, you know, 3 p.m. games on the last day of the season are massive for the schedule, massive. And if we can delay the kickoff of our game, potentially 4 p.m. If we can delay the kickoff of our game, if we can have a protest, anything like the one we've just had, to close out the season off the back of the interest from EK, potential interest from new billionaires over the next few weeks coming up to the end of the season, I think that would be the best time, best place to make our voices heard one last time moving into the summer. Because I don't know if you guys remember the FA Cup final interview I done. I remember saying in that FA Cup final interview that I don't really have a platform aside from the fan cams to really try and, you know, galvanize and group together a unified vision. And I still believe that, as much as I've got my own platform on my channel, here we are now, and as much as there's other channels left, right and center around Arsenal Football Club, I just think that the emotions run highest during season, during the game time. You know, when we come into summer, a lot of people just choose to sit back and analyze and see what happens. Summer is not the best time to make our voices heard. The best time is during the season. Now, would I put anyone off from protesting at the next game? I wouldn't. But what I will say is it needs to not lose its value in terms of a protest. We saw the numbers and the voice we created on Friday. That needs to be kept up. You know, we can't just have little mini protests left, right, and center, because in my opinion, that just dilutes the whole subject matter. I see a super chat in here. Have I lost it? Nope, here we are. Let me just bring that up from Alistair. Alistair says, it's Arteta out. Final answer. Listen, Kroenke ain't staying because we won't qualify for the Champions League next season or the one after that under this regime. Again, that's why I asked the question, Alistair, you know, because if we was to win the Europa League, the likelihood of Kroenke staying and digging his heels in, or potentially asking for a lot more than maybe the valuation of the club is at present, considering if you make Champions League football, you can sell that as something to build on to a new owner. You can turn around and say to Daniel Ek, listen, we're in the Champions League, this is what I want. Or you turn around to Daniel Ek and say, listen, we finished 10th, we're not in any European competition. The value of Arsenal Football Club doesn't look as great as it would with European football. Hence the question. You know, it's very difficult to say I don't want Arsenal to win the Europa League, but at the same time, I know that Arsenal winning the Europa League might not be in our best interest as a football club and as a fan base. It's sad to say, but it's true. It's true. Michael says, just watch the Ek interview. He is serious. However, Kroenke has never sold a club. If we win Europa League and get Champions League money, it will become more difficult. 100%. That's exactly what I'm saying. It will become a lot more difficult. It will. But at the same time, what do we do as fans? You know, we're about to watch our team in a European semi-final tomorrow. We're going to cheer. We're going to want us to win. But in the back of my mind, I know that winning might not be the best for Arsenal Football Club. And people can say what they like. You're not a real fan. Support the club here and there. Listen, miss me with that shit. If you don't think I'm a real fan because I'm thinking more long-term than this short-term business, then, you know, do you. Because I'm sure the fans that put all their eggs in a trophy basket were left surprised with the FA Cup wins that gave Wenger a new contract. Were left surprised with an FA Cup win that birthed trust the process, you know? At the end of the day, some of those FA Cup wins I look back on and it done more harm than good. Yes, I love the FA Cup. Yes, I love the fact we're the most, we've won it the most times. And yes, I love trophies, full stop. That's why you're in the business. But do I want a new owner to open up the potential of more trophies, or do I want this one trophy to open up the potential of remaining with the owner that doesn't care about trophies? I'm going to go for the former. I'm going to go for the former. But again, it's very difficult to say. Even I struggle to say right now that I want Arsenal to, and you know what I'm trying to say, but it's hard to say, because do I really want that? Do I really want to get knocked out by Villarreal? Honestly, I don't really want that. But in the current circumstances, it's probably for the best. And that's what I've got to look at, people. And that's what we've got to look at. Big up Foggery in the building. We're dealing with colossal egos, 100%. So shaming them has to be high on the fans' agenda. They're like a dragon missing a scale right now. Need to seize the moment and get at them. I agree with you. Like I said, this last week, we've seen more action from the Kronkes in terms of trying to talk to us and trying to say the right things than we have done in the 14 years previous. Imagine that. Talk about engaging with the fans. Talk about 100% commitment. Well, where was you for 14 years? What was you for those 14 years? 50% committed. At the end of the day, it's a lot deeper than the words that were being sold now. We've got to analyze every single word, every single sentence that is said, not only from the Kronkes, but Daniel Ek too. We need to understand who might be coming in, who's actually interested. I'm still waiting to hear more about Henri Bergkamp and Vieira. It came out Monday morning that they're part of it. We still don't know really what part they play, but it'd be good now to hear from them following Ek's interview about how serious he is. Let's hear from some of the Invincibles, because like you said, the Kronkes, they're feeling something now. How I'd love to be a billionaire and see how I'd feel about little things like this, because essentially that's how he sees it, and that's how he's seen us for 15 years. But when you love the club like us fans do, it's a completely different perspective. Completely different. Michael again says, we're all in agreement on Kroenke out. But if they stay, which realistic signings would have to be made to convince you that Kroenke is serious about investing in the club? Michael, me, none. Like I just said on the AFTV, I don't even know if I said it on the AFTV stream or if I said it after the stream, but they've been feeding us breadcrumbs for 14 years. 13, 14 years breadcrumbs. The 1 year they turn around and try to feed us caviar, are you going to be excited? Are you going to be happy? You shouldn't be, because they've dragged your standards down so low that the 1 year that they give you something back is seen as a miracle. It's seen as a change. It's not a change. That's how these systems work. That's how the rich work. They'll squeeze something dry and then try and sell you something that should have been sold to us a long, long time ago. So, yeah, we're still in for a long, long journey, but I'm glad to hear that Ek has also, what did he say exactly? I didn't expect this to be done overnight. I'm prepared that this could be a long journey. And I love that, because I needed to hear that, because this isn't going to be done overnight. This isn't going to be done just like that over 2 weeks, over a month. This is going to be a long journey. And what I take from it is, if you all want my honest opinion, we will have Stan Kroenke as the owner moving into next season. But what Daniel Ek tells me here is that moving into next season, if Stan Kroenke is still the owner, if Stan Kroenke rejects the initial bid, he is still going to be interested. Surely what he means by this won't be done overnight and it's going to be a long journey means that it won't just be one bid coming in. It'll be negotiation. It'll be consistency. That's what I want to see. We've got someone to potentially hold on to now. I know a lot of people held on to Dangote's comments from a couple of years ago. I'm sure a lot will hold on to Daniel Ek now. Like I keep saying, we don't know if Dangote is the one. We don't know if Usmanov was the one. We don't know if Daniel Ek is the one. What we do know is Stan Kroenke isn't. That is a fact. Jay says, big up Turkish. I hear your logic 100%, but there's no guarantee winning Europa League means KSC digs in or losing means he sells. Still got to win games. And that's 100%. Again, that's why it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. All I do know is if I put myself in the shoes of a business owner who doesn't really care about the business, and I'm sitting here now and I'm saying to myself, listen, this is the value of the club without European football. This is the value of the club with it. It can be sold in very different ways. So I think winning the Europa League definitely has some impact somewhere along the line. But you are 100% right. It doesn't guarantee anything. Whether we make Champions League or Europa League or not, Stan Kroenke is a rich man. Making it doesn't affect him. So for me, I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm still very skeptical considering what we saw in the past with the FA Cups, for example. Let's not forget how much pressure Wenger was under at one period, and that FA Cup gave him a new contract, you know? And considering where we are now, we can see that that was the wrong decision off the back of a trophy that we all craved for many years, having been through a trophy drought. We all crave trophies as football fans. But at the same time, Arsenal, trophies, it's only covered up cracks. It's only covered up cracks. Big up Stephen. All I can say is thanks for your support yesterday. I hit 1,000 subs, so I can now monetize the channel so that money can go to CLDF charity. We have to be careful what owners we get in case they're just as bad. Stephen, I'm glad to hear it. Obviously, if you was tuned in the other day, Stephen does a lot of good work for charity, and he wanted his page to be monetized so he can continue building upon it and doing good work. If you haven't, go and subscribe. If you did off the back of the last video, or if you are already subscribed, then big up to you guys. Like I said, you know, we don't see many YouTubers doing stuff for charity and selflessly in general. So big up Stephen. Big up Stephen. You're completely right. We have to be careful, but at the same time, what does being careful mean when we're talking about a new owner? We don't know nothing about these billionaires, so it's all guesswork. Come on, bro. Mr. Ray says, if anything, the fact that we're in a bidding war is good. 100%. I said that last week as soon as the interest was sparked from it. I was very pessimistic about it, but what I did say is let's have a bidding war, because a bidding war works in Kronke's favor. A bidding war also works in our favor. A bidding war probably improves the value of the club by maybe another 500 million to $1 billion if there's a couple billionaires involved. And for us fans, it gives Kroenke more opportunity to sell. So for me, 100%, 100%. We just need to continue putting the pressure on and just hoping that whether it's Ek, Dangote, Usmanov, Google, Flamini, whoever it is, let's just have a war. Let's just have a war. Let's just see it unfold. I'm more interested to see the war that's raging above than the Villarreal game. I will be honest. Marcus says, who would you prefer, Turkish Ek or the Don? I can't lie. I think Ek's money's slightly longer than Robbie's money. So I'm just going to go with where the money's at. But if you want me to tell you who the true Arsenal fan is, I can speak for Robbie, but I can't speak for Ek. Like I said with Ek, it's all good and well us hearing that he's an Arsenal fan. It's all good and well us hearing he supported the club since he was 8 years old. It's all good Sky telling us he used to go Highbury and he goes to the Emirates multiple times. But where's the pictures at? Surely if you're going to a stadium, especially from abroad, especially supporting the club since an early age, like 8 years old, where are the pictures? Surely you have a picture at Highbury. Surely you have a picture at the Emirates. Now, I'm not saying that's the be-all and end-all, but what I am saying is, you know, a lot of that PR in terms of I'm an Arsenal fan, this and that, and I'll put that to the side. That's all words to me. You know, you can prove that to me. You don't need to tell me that. Prove that to me. So you're right. You're right. We can't really get sold on the words of I'm a fan. Would I be sold on the Vieira, Henry, and Bergkamp links? Yes, because I trust them. But at the same time, I also trusted Wenger. So I'm not naive enough to think that a billionaire won't come and use and abuse the names of legends to get what they want and do what they want. All we can do is relate it back to experiences we've had before. That's where I form my opinion from. You know, if something happens, I try and put myself in all shoes. My shoes, their shoes, his shoes, her shoes, whatever shoes. That's the best way to form an opinion. But at the same time, if I'm asked to go with an opinion of what I think, even putting myself in various shoes, the opinion I'm going to go with is the opinion based off of experience. And the experiences we've had under the ownership, we must learn from. We must learn from. Let's not be naive and just forget that Wenger tarnished his whole legacy for Kroenke. You know, I'm not saying Henry, Bergkamp, and Vieira would do that for Ek, but what I am saying is I'm sure Wenger didn't sell his name and reputation down the river initially to Kroenke. It just happened. Like I'm sure Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira won't have intentions of doing that. Let's just hope Ek is serious, and it just sounds too good to be true right now. I say too good to be true, but, you know, Someone said, get James in. James is in the other room right now. He's I don't know what he's doing in the other room, but when he comes back in, I'll get him on. Real Bull Talk says, my bro, I can't lie. The way Ek talks, I question how much he knows about Arsenal. He speaks too much here. But to be fair, that's more than Kroenke is. Again, yeah. Again, listen, we've been bent over as fans. You know, we've been bent over and the owners have had their way with us. Let's be honest. And because of that, we're hungry. We're hungry for a new owner. We're hungry for a new direction. But sometimes when you're hungry, you can also be manipulated. You know, the governments do it across the world. You know, the best. Well, I say the best, but the systems in place across many governments, companies, all of that. You know, they bring the people to a state of hunger and then drip feed stuff to seem like they're giving back. And billionaires are a part of the circle too. So am I saying Daniel Ek is the one? I'm not saying he is the one, but am I excited? 100% I'm excited. 100%. Sorry, people. Let me just go through the chat and see what the people are saying. Get some more questions in. Yeah, there we are. Sorry, the chat was just moving slow. Thailand Smart says, love your channel, bro. Come on. Please sign the 50+1 petition, says LTT. Do that. Do that. I'll tweet it out after as well. I'll tweet it out again after. We are desperate, says Shano. And that's what it is. You know, when you're desperate, people can take advantage, you know. So let's just make sure, although we are desperate, let's just make sure we don't get bent over by a new name. The Kronkes will never leave. They see Arsenal as a good business. Don't be surprised if they turn around and buy AFTV too. Imagine that. Imagine that. Danzy says, Stan, Kroenke, and the other US owners of Super League wannabes are richer than... Yeah, they are. But believe the values of their clubs are rising and can't see your protest. Why sell? Big up yourself, Turkish. Well, to be honest with you, mate, they obviously did see and hear it because they wouldn't have come out. You know, I'm even surprised they came out because I'm like you. I didn't think one potential protest would bring Josh Kroenke to a fans forum the day before. I didn't think one potential protest could lead to Ek throwing his hat into the ring, could lead to Invincibles combining with him. At the end of the day, sometimes it's not the owner that needs to hear us. Sometimes it's others. And I think Ek heard us. I'm sure other billionaires heard us. If Dangote had any interest and he wasn't just talking shit those years ago, I'm sure he heard us. Henri Vieira and Bergkamp heard us. Ian Wright heard us. You know, the mainstream media in this country heard us. So sometimes we can have an effect through making ourselves heard to different avenues, I guess is the word. At the end of the day, it's going to be a long battle. And yes, the Kroenkes are hidden from a lot of it. But ask yourself why all of a sudden they've come out in the last week. In the last week, we've had a statement apologizing. We've had Josh Kroenke come and speak to fans on the fans forum. And we've had Kroenke come out yesterday or someone come out and make a statement that they're 100% committed. 3 moments of communication from our owners in 1 week. In 14 years, these men communicated with us maybe twice. And one of them was be excited. So, listen, if you believe in protests, good. If you don't believe in protests, you're better off just keeping that to yourself and doing what you can and doing what you do believe in. That's just the best way to look at it. 3 moments from panic. That's exactly what it was, you know. Usmanov must have put that call through to Ek. Listen, I've got a feeling, but listen, that feeling's off of nothing. That feeling's off of me wanting Usmanov however many years ago. I just hope someone like Usmanov is behind it all because the way Ek talked, the way he talked in particular told me that there's something behind him that, you know, could be a powerhouse. I mean, saying you secured the funds for a compelling offer, saying it's not going to be done overnight and it could be a long journey. It sounds like they're committed. It sounds like the money is there. And it sounds like they're intent on buying and winning Kroenkes over in terms of selling. That's what I got from that interview. Now, am I a mug to run away with it and think, happier days are around the corner? No, no one should be a mug and run away with this. Be excited, yes. And I'm not saying be excited like Josh Kroenke. I'm saying be excited because there's a light. There's a light that us fans have helped create, Us fans have helped create this light through the protest, through the unified voice message, through the social media, hashtags and all of that. Let's just keep on doing what we can and hope that they do what they can to make this happen. X been chatting to his billionaire mate, says Derek. John in the building. Hope you're well, John. The question I'd ask to Wenger is why he allowed Kroenke to tarnish his name. 100%, mate. 100%. Instead, Wenger's coming out yesterday and saying, if I can help in any way, I will. Listen, I could really get angry right now, I could really get angry because you see Arsene Wenger. I love that man. I love that man. I'm not going to lie. I love that man. And he sold us down the river. He sold us down the river. Then he brings out a book. He doesn't say nothing about them. And he comes out yesterday, if I can help Arsenal, I will. With all due respect, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because Arsene, you could have left the club a long time ago and told us the truth. Arsene, you took pay rises off the back of FA Cups and finishing out a top 4. Arsene, you sided with Kroenke over Usmanov. Arsene, you was part of us moving from Highbury into the Emirates. Arsene, where have you been since you left the club? Arsene, why aren't you talking about the club? Why are you coming out on TalkSport in the beginning of the season to talk about Arteta not playing Mesut Ozil? Arsene Wenger don't care about us fans. Arsene Wenger don't care about us fans. Me and my dad used to call Wenger Lord. My friends used to call Wenger Dad. And when I say they called him Dad, they fucking called him Dad. Now I just look at him and wonder why some American billionaire tarnished his name. Yeah, listen, the American billionaire did tarnish his name. But at the same time, he allowed it to happen. So, it's all mad. It's all mad. It's mad what Wenger's name can do to me because the way that people just try and protect... Listen, as much as I know it was a personal feud between Hillwood and David Dein, yeah, that is literally it. Why are Arsenal here right now? Because of a personal feud between Peter Hillwood and David Dein. That's why we are here right now. Everything else comes off the back of that personal feud. And Arsene Wenger was the linchpin to it all moving into the Emirates. And I'll never forgive him for that. I'll never forgive him for that. Talk to me when Arsenal are back and, when I can forget and when we can forget these dark days. Ask me about Wenger then. But right now, when we're in the darkest of spaces at Arsenal, due to a lot of what Wenger did and let slide, don't ask me about Arsene Wenger, even mention his name around this. Because, listen, John, I know you didn't ask him in that way, but I know on Twitter and even around the office, that people like Wenger did say this and Wenger did say that. And listen, please, when I see a picture of Wenger, I see what we've become. It's sad, but it's true. I see what we've become. There we go. Someone called him Dad here. Let me see what some of the people are saying, man. Why do they want to start a new league in VAR is shit? Money. Wenger chose Kroenke because he felt they would respect FFP. Wenger was wrong. So when is my man going to come out and tell us he was wrong? When is he going to apologize? When is he going to take some ownership to what we've become? Man never trusted Kroenke. I trusted him. He got it wrong, yes. But take some ownership of it, Wenger. You brought out a book and I went and bought that book to see the truth. And you protect them again 2 years after they hung you out to dry. That's not a man of the people. That's not a man of the people. No, I am not Adam. No more chances. No more chances. Crooked Guna says, look at what Josh said with regards to be excited. Are they not embarrassed of where we've ended up now? We are 9th in the fucking league, mate. Where's our apology? Trust me, you apologize for that. Not just that apology. They should have fucking apologized for many, many things over the years. Many, many things. Selling Van Persie to our rivals because they offered a couple mil more than Juve. I'm not getting mad. Bro, that pause you did for Wenger is how I feel. I loved Wenger beyond words, but by the end, he was part of the downfall and turned his back on the fans, mocking us in interviews. I'll never forget. We pay the highest ticket prices because of the football on show. No, we pay the highest ticket prices because the owner you backed is a greedy cunt, Wenger. Yeah? Not because of the football on show. Am I a mug? For you to tell me I pay the highest ticket prices because of the football on show. Us, man, are dropping 4-goal leads to Newcastle. What football on show, my guy? He mugged us fans near the end of his career. Excuse me? I don't know if you're being sarcastic here, but you need to go back and check. Please go back and check. 2016-17, check that season. 2017-18, check that season. 2015-16, we finished second. Wenger bought Mustafi. Wenger bought Xhaka. We haven't finished top 4 since. Wenger had 2 of those years. 2 years out of top 4 with Wenger. 2 years out, well, 1 year out of top 4 with Emery. Half a season with Emery, half a season with Arteta, a full season with Arteta. We've been out of the top 4 for what? This will be our 5th season out of the top 4. 2 of those is Arsenal. Let's not rewrite history and act like he wasn't, a big part of it. Straight face, That's how can you not feel mugged? Like, how can you not feel mugged when someone's telling you that? Like, I'm watching Bayern Munich and Barca in midweek, and I'm thinking to myself, this man said we pay the highest prices more than these lot because of our football. My man lost it at the end, mate. He lost it at the end. That RVP one burns differently. It does. It does. It's one thing it's letting Nasri and Adebayo and all them man go to Man City but selling Van Persie to United because of a couple mil. Where's the sorry for that, Kroenke? Yeah? Where's the sorry for that? Turkish, you're a real one. Respect, love, my guy. Am I linking up with Big Steve today? Well, I think Big Steve's doing the Don Robbie channel today. I'm at the office now, so I might see Steve pull up, to be honest. I'm going to be here for another couple of hours, wait for rush hour to die before I leave. Let's see what Fidel's saying. I think Turkish's point is that regardless of Wenger keeping us in Champions League, it never went any further than that. And ultimately, Wenger put up with KSE's bullshit. For that, he is at fault, 100%. Let's not forget we was upset with just making top 4 every year and not building upon that. So do you think I'm going to now turn around and say to Kronkite, you get another chance because we make Champions League next season or because we finish top 4 next season or finish top 4 for the next 4 seasons? No. You can't sell me an idea where Kronkite is still in charge of this football club where I'm like, yeah, let's see how it goes. No chance. Nice little round up there from Fidel. How long are we in now? Half an hour in, 1,200 people here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Let's see what Junior says. Lord, mate, you can tell the love we have for Wenger is real because when we try link of the collapse, it burns. I was telling man, if they don't drag him out the Emirates, I'm gonna do it myself, bro. And you know what the sad thing is? He was their shield, All we was doing was pelting shots at the shield, That's all we was doing. You can imagine Kroenke, I'm Kroenke, and then Arsene Wenger's a shield in front, and we're just battering that shield, battering it to the point where it just cracked to pieces, and Kroenke's got to just put that shield aside and buy a new shield or new puppet, whatever you want to say, or he just rides the wave until that shield breaks, and then finally shots are coming in his direction. Instead, he tried to, remove that shield, which was Wenger, and put a new shield in place, which was Emery. Didn't work. Arteta, Edu, it hasn't worked. Listen, no more shielding. We know who the true core and reason why we are here now is Stan Kroenke. Let's not be fooled by any puppets. Let's not be fooled by Arteta saying, if they get the opportunity to know them, I think most of them would be surprised. Arteta has just put himself, you know, as the new shield of Kroenke with that statement. It's one thing saying you're being backed last summer, and obviously we saw he wasn't backed. It's another thing coming out to say, if you fans knew Kroenke, we'd be surprised. Arteta, I'm surprised you've put yourself on the line for them now, mate. Yeah, I'm surprised you've done that, because the quotes I've just talked about with Arsene Wenger and how we used to protect Kroenke, exactly what Arteta's done with that quote. I'm going to read it one more time because I can't believe it. If they get the opportunity to know them, Arteta's saying we are they. I think most of them would be surprised. So why didn't them man want to get to know us from early? Why didn't them man want to get to know us from early? All of a sudden, they want to engage. They want to educate themselves on us. You know, they're 100% committed. They've never been 100% committed to this football club. So what are they talking about? And what's Arteta talking about? Bigger men have died on Kroenke's sword. Arsene Wenger died on that sword. Mikel Arteta thinks he's going to come in and do what? Become the new shield for him. Nah, you can go the same way he's going to go. Edu too, jump on that bus too, because you told us to be patient with Willian in November, and we're at the end of the season now, and what's going on, mate? So all of it is rotten. All of it is rotten. And you can see them Arteta quotes come from top down. You know, there's a bit of turmoil right now. We need to paint a picture. Arteta, you know, can you squeeze this in there somewhere? Yes, boss, why not? You pay my wages, cool. Stephen, again with a super chat, says, George Graham cared more about us. He never left Arsenal in this shit. If Wenger cared, we wouldn't be in this. Wenger and the Kroenkes, where's your separate apologies? Well, Wenger's come out to say if he can help, he will help. Well, you can help by telling the truth. No better time for Arsene Wenger to come out and say, you know what, guys? I think it's time that you know what really happened at Arsenal football. There's no better time for Arsene Wenger to tell the truth than there is now, because so many fans right now are together. And so much of this fan base was divided because of our opinions on Arsene Wenger, that the best thing he could do, the best way he can help right now is come out, Wenger, and tell us the truth. So whether you're a Wenger out or you're a Wenger in, we can turn to each other and say, you know what, mate? They did it too. They did it. It wasn't me. It wasn't DT. It wasn't AFTV. It wasn't fans' opinions. It was the owner that did it. But Arsene Wenger, instead, he wants to beat around the bush and be quiet. You know, I don't like hearing Arsene Wenger's name right now in terms of being a saving grace or some philosopher. Like he's a big part of where we are right now. Big part. I got another super chat here before I lose it. Let me just bring it up. Here we are. City literally built their winning teams off the top players we offloaded. Vieira, Toure, Nasri, Clichy, Adebayor, etc. are the brain behind City's successes, and both Wenger and the Kroenkes are to be blamed. Well, yes. Again, you know, a lot of those players that we thought would help us turn the corner in the Emirates era, the Nasris and Adebayor after that, you know, 25, 30 goal season, instead were just nabbed by Man City, and instead they paved the way for what Man City are now. You know, there was no way Man City were just going to have a billionaire owner come in and then get every top player in the world, but they got a billionaire owner come in, and slowly but surely they built it to the point where they put the Barcelona man in the technical director position 2 years before they even approached Pep about the job. That's an ownership. That's planning. That's direction. You know, that's people you can trust with the best interests of the club and us fans. And the proof's in the pudding. You can see it now. 3rd league title in 4 years, I believe. Semi-final of the Champions League. 4 times in a row League Cup. Couple FA Cups in between that as well. How I wish we could rewind to the Usmanov and Kroenke debate and make the right decision this time, because we would be in a far different place than we are now with Kroenke and with Usmanov in charge. Big up Troops in the building as well. People are saying Troops is in the chat. Hope you're good out there, my guy. I know you're due back in May, so soon come. Troops, if you're free and you want to jump on, just let me know, man. Message me on WhatsApp. My phone's in front of me. Melissa says, Stan will sell. He's just a greedy bastard. He's going to say he's not selling only to get more money. Love from Toronto, Canada. Yep. that it's a tactic. Was I put off by him saying no intention of selling? No, because he's not going to come out and say, yes, I'm open to it, because that brings the value a bit down. Dig your heels in, hope for a bit more, and Kroenke would be happy. Us fans would be happy, and we can finally turn the corner. Who knows what's around that corner? We don't know what's around that corner. We don't know enough about Ek or any of the other billionaires out there that might buy the club. But what we do know is on this road we're on now, the lights ain't working. Yeah, it's a dead end. So let's hope we're able to find the corner and turn it, because the opportunity is there now, and us fans have a part to play. Nick says, for me, KSC coming out and saying they don't want to sell actually shows me more that they are considering. Could have just ignored the news, but didn't. Very true. And I'm surprised like I said to you, they've come out 3 times in the past week. One to apologize with that letter, one to put Josh Kroenke into the fans forum, and one yesterday to say they won't sell. 3 communications from them in 1 week. We haven't had 3 communications from them in the previous 14 years. They are under pressure. And I know their pressure is different to our pressure. They're billionaires, so they can just walk through that pressure willy-nilly. They don't give a toss about it. But with the European Super League news, without that improved valuation on Arsenal's name in the coming years, how must he feel about the club? How must he feel about the future prospects? We're a loss-making company now, 2 years on the trot, going into our 3rd year. This December will be our 3rd year in a row we've made a loss, and our first 3 years we've made a loss since moving out of Highbury. These are the things that will affect Kroenke down the line, if things like the Super League are actually dead and buried, if things like the Super League are actually going to come back a lot fairer, let's say, because obviously they tried to monopolize the whole football world and keep the money in-house. If that idea is dead in the water, then the money in the future for Arsenal is not as much as Kroenke would have hoped it would have been. Jay says, Kroenke is greedy. Arteta is just a shield. I live in the USA. Every sport here is boring because of greed. I hope we save this beautiful game. Come on, you Gunners. That's a good point, Obviously, I like the NBA. I've watched a lot more of the NBA growing up. But for me, watching American sports is an extra. I'm not invested in it. I don't love it. My emotions are not involved. Do I support a team? Yeah, here and there, but it's nothing like football. So it's interesting to hear that perspective from America, that the games and sports over there has been ruined by greed. Let's just hope it doesn't happen to football over here. But the way the world works, I'm sure that European Super League is not dead and buried. It's just going to be reinvented and revisited to help counter the opinions we had as fans. Ben, big up Ben, my guy. We went uni together. Let's see what he's saying. Even after Arsenal signed the new kit deals, he didn't want to spend. He only bought Petr Cech that summer. Or he only bought Petr Cech one summer. Imagine that. We bought Petr Cech in the first few weeks of that summer window. And then the whole summer went by without a buy. And I think we paid 10 million for Cech. Stan Kroenke, mate. Stan Kroenke. We're going to wrap this up soon enough. I'm just going to get a couple more questions in. Probably 45 minutes in, 1,300 people live. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. No message from Troops people, so obviously he's busy, but big up Troops same way. Ben Jefferson as well, big supporter of the channel. Hope you're good, Ben. I didn't get a chance to meet you or see you on Friday. I know you did say you was coming, I believe, on Twitter. If it is the same, Ben. Anyway, I'm a massive NHL fan, and the team that Kroenke owns are toilet. They've got, and I think toilet's a nice way of putting it. They've got a few great players, but nowhere near competitive for a Stanley Cup. Kroenke out from all directions. Alman says, Turkish, just for argument's sake, Kroenke took majority ownership in 2018, and in that time we signed Oba, Laka, Pepe, Partey, Gabriel Tierney, Leno, and many more. Management should be questioned. Management should be questioned, but also don't erase the previous 12, 13 years of Kroenke's ownership. Kroenke was majority owner for a long time, and he was part owner for a lot longer than that. He was on the board as soon as he became part owner of this football club. Usmanov was never on the board, even with 30% of shares. Imagine owning a third of a company and you can't make a decision. But Kroenke was allowed on pretty much as soon as he bought the stakes. And as soon as he bought the stakes, do you think conversations weren't had that he was going to buy up sooner or later the rest of the shares involved? Of course it was. When we hear stories about Hillwood talking to Fisman and talking to Nina Bracewell and all that about selling their shares to Stan Kroenke, it was all the plan. So as much as, yes, he become full owner in 2018, that doesn't mean nothing to me, because he could have showed his ambition a lot longer than that, before that, sorry. Instead, they're just talking about educating themselves on us now. You know, it would have been good to hear all of this 10 years ago, not at the lowest point of maybe our Premier League era at Arsenal Football Club. The people below Kroenke have all been shit too. Or when you have an owner who doesn't care, you're going to have employees that don't care, and you're going to have employees that don't give a shit. It's just the way business works. Any business would be like that. You need to have someone at the top that's a leader, ambitious, character, winning mentality, a people's person in this modern day. Is Kroenke any of those? I struggle to even pick out one of those words to describe Kroenke. So yeah. Come on, Ben. It is you next March. Yeah, we'll definitely meet each other next time. We'll definitely meet each other next time. They do the same thing in America. I've heard. And when Vince McMahon talks about him, Vince McMahon's already talked about, and I'll mention it again. Vince McMahon talked about Stan Kroenke allowing WWE to book out the Denver Nuggets stadium on a date where if Denver Nuggets made the playoffs, they'd be using the stadium on that date. Kroenke gave that date to Vince McMahon and the WWE. What happens? Denver Nuggets make the playoffs. He has to cancel that evening with WWE, and he puts in Denver Nuggets. But what does that tell us? Imagine you're an owner of a business and you expect that business not to make the playoffs. So you sell the venue to another company. If that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Stan Kroenke, then what does? What does? Imagine Vince McMahon of all people. Man grew up watching him WWF and that, and he's coming out to tell us about our owner. It's all mad. Oh, I know Vince is a scumbag too, but listen, that quote in himself he was right about that. You don't do that. As a business owner, you don't do that if you're ambitious. You don't do that if you're a winner. It just tells you all you need to know. But people, hope you guys have enjoyed 45 minutes in, 1,300 people here. Make sure you guys hit the like button before you exit. Leave your thoughts, questions, all of that in the comment section below. I'll go through it at some point today. I'll be back tomorrow, midday-ish, for the Villarreal preview live. Let's say bang on 12 o'clock tomorrow. So make sure you guys are back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock. We'll go through Villarreal, team news, all of that. Full-time show on AFTV will be out in a few hours, I believe 6, 7, 8 p.m. Look out for that on AFTV. Me, James, and Cecil, we go into Villarreal. The good news about Tierney, Lacazette, and so on. Make sure you guys tune in there. And as always, hit the like button. Leave your questions and thoughts in the comment section below. And love for the love as always, people. I'll be back tomorrow midday. Make sure you're there. Take care, love, and peace.